Okay, so it's safe to say that we've got many great animes in this season like Sakamoto Days, Ao no Hako, ReZero and Solo Leveling making a return. Blue Lock Season 2 making a return! And they are rated pretty well for the performance on my anime list. Except Blue Lock. But what if I tell you that there is one singular anime that kind of flew under the radar and didn't get that much attention? An anime so beautiful and brilliant, yet still got no recognition. That anime, my ladies and gentlemen, is Orb on the Movement of the Earth. Now, despite it being currently ranked 6th on the top airing anime, I've never heard a single thing about it on any social media platform. And it got me wondering, why is it not talked about much even though it's rated pretty high? Surely people are cooking up some crazy reviews right now. No? Oh well, I'll make a video anyways. So I've decided to check it out, and boy oh boy, it was the best experience I've ever had in this season. Okay, so you know how we've got animes filled with action, drama and a lot of fighting? Specifically Solo Leveling and Sakamoto Days? They go like, oh wow, hot character who beats the shit out of people just for fun. Pwah, poo, pshoo, pwah, yeah, wah. Oh my god, he's so hot. Oh my god, I wish I was like him. He's just like me. Yeah, this anime does none of that. Instead, they try to capture the viewer's attention in a different type of way.
What do you mean by that?
And that is science. But we've already got an anime like that. Shush, I already know that. But what this anime focuses on is not the typical science we all know about. It's astrology. Please don't click off the video yet. The anime focuses on questioning common belief, opposing the teachings of the church and religion, and how they force people to believe in things without letting them to think for themselves. What is this belief, you might ask? It's geocentrism. It was basically a common belief long ago, where people were taught that the earth is at the center of everything. Not the sun as we know it today, but earth. And if you even dare to say something else than this, then you will get your shit burnt alive. Wait, why would this kid say that? That's right, this is why. So then how did they manage to correct that, you might ask? How did they alter our thinking and achieve the knowledge we all know today? I mean, death by burning your shit alive is surely a strong motivator to stop them. Well, they simply just kept pushing forward, even when faced with death. Meet Rafal, a young boy who resides in a highly religious area and studies theology and astronomy at the church. And there are two things they believe in. One, the earth is at the center of the universe, maybe at the bottom of it. And two, how it is overflown with God's love. Great job, Jonathan, you are very brilliant! But then Rafal explains the real reason they believe in this, which is objects falling from the sky, as the earth is the lowest point of the universe. A very smart boy indeed. He even gets accepted into university at the tender age of 12. But you wanna know why he's even smarter than 99% of the population then? Well, his thinking is focused on rationality and perfection. If he says the exact things people want to hear, he gets showered with praises and love. But still, he doesn't really mean everything he says. So he's basically just a smart guy from the modern day put in the past. A fake it till you make it type of guy. Anyways, his father tells him to accompany a stranger named Hubert, who is a heretic! Now Hubert is also part of the 1%, because he straight up lies his way to freedom. So to no surprise, he did not give up on his research and continues with astrology. And back then you didn't have things like telescopes or a Galaxy S25 Ultra to see the stars clearly. They were invented in the 1600s. Obviously I'm joking about the phone, it wasn't invented in the 16s. Please don't call me dumb in the comments. All you heard was a perfect place and a good set of eyes to observe. And if you were blind, then
I read about did you say want?
Anyways, that's what Hubert was aiming for. A good set of eyes, as his are partially goners. So he blackmails Rafal into researching with him. So then you think, if that's the case, then Rafal can just report his ass and let him burn alive. True, but Rafal was very passionate about astrology. And when he got the offer to see the stars better in a different location, he couldn't refuse. So then they go to the place, look for stars and all that, until Rafal asks what his research is. Hubert then tells him that his theory defies everything they've ever learned till now. His theory is heliocentrism, which is basically saying that the sun is at the center and the earth is just moving around it. But of course Rafal, who has been taught otherwise, says, what? No way. Of course the stars are moving and the earth is at the center. It was proven 1000 years ago. I mean, why else could they jump around and land on the exact same spot? You're just a dumbass. just like when Newton got dropped by an apple, Rafal finally understands what Hubert meant. And after more and more thinking, the idea of heliocentrism started growing on him more and more.
的に動いてしまったらこの説を美しいと思ってしまう。合ってるかも。
And you say to yourself, alright, we are getting somewhere. Finally people who can prove something without any consequences fail. He forgets to hide his book and Mr. Boogeyman finds it, but Hubert takes the blame instead and gets burnt alive. Nice job, Rafal. You had one job, and that is to keep this a secret, and you still blew it. You fucking idiot. And that is the whole premise of the anime. Just trying to go against the church and government, with other brave people risking their lives to prove things wrong and correct them. And if you haven't noticed me glazing yet, I love this anime. I mean, astrology was always something very interesting, and how they explain the different concepts of the cosmos makes this show fun and worth to watch. And just when I was 16 watching Attack on Titan for the first time, not knowing what the fuck is going on after the second season, I kind of tried to keep up with every explanation. I mean, sometimes they go, an ellipsis has two focal points, and the sun is located at one of them, not the center. This happens because of the way gravity works in space. And my brain just goes offline and tries to piece everything together after watching a small visual representation. And you know what makes this even more impressive? These people figured out everything with a set of eyes and a fucking stick. That's it. There was no technology that supported the work of astrology. And when you see how they solve these problems with little to no help, makes tuning in worth it. They are defying everything, even though they might die for it. Combine it with beautifully drawn scenery and you got a great way to catch somebody's attention, even if there is not that much action and drama. But what makes this anime even better is the characters and how they develop. We see it happen to Rafal. He was a selfish, rational thinker who lied to get a better status amongst other people. And the idea of him thinking of going against the church was a very scary and a big no-no line to cross. He still does think rationally, but after meeting Hubert, he figures out that these false interpretations of the Earth's location cannot keep going and must come to a stop. Now don't get me wrong, he still fears death and all, but the thought of being punished for proving something wrong was not pleasant for him. And thus, even after Hubert was killed, he kept researching heliocentrism even though he knew of the consequences. But Rafal is not the only main character in this show. There are others like Oxy, who is a mercenary and believes that this world is rained down with corruption as the earth is at the bottom of the universe. And if you do good deeds, you ascend to heaven where everything is perfect. Or Badeni, who is a monk at the church but believes that the world they live in is not as corrupt and as bad they say it is, and tries to prove the church wrong. Or Yolenta, who is a woman. They all contribute just as much as Rafal does to the story. The one cannot continue without the other. And the one most important factor in this anime is to pass on the torch to the next person, as knowledge is permanent unlike life. And being put in the perspective of each of the characters makes it more immersive, as every concept is explained from their point of view. The viewer doesn't get any other special information that the other characters don't know about. And that's what makes this anime so good. It just keeps dragging you from one episode to another, leaving you waiting for weeks for another episode, which feels like 5 minutes rather than 20. So yeah, if you enjoyed the anime from me talking about it, then feel free to check it out. I tried to make this review with very little spoilers. And yeah, this anime gets 9.5 Doritos out of 10.